the end. Today we are going to talk about an easy way to reduce weight and optimize performance of a product. This product is not small because it's a whole bridge, and this bridge is not simple since it must support subway and vehicles, and while also bearing the flow of the River Seine and the wind. I'm very happy to talk about that with two experts from Dassault Systèmes who will present a fine example of this type of optimization in the field of architecture. First of all, Kilian, who works as an engineer for the CATIA roles portfolio. And Kilian used the functional generative design technology to redesign the structure of a Parisian bridge, the Pont Bir-Hakeim. So, hi, Kilian.
Hi, everyone. Hello.
And then we'll welcome also Pierre, who is in charge of the portfolio of roles for generative design and other solutions in CATIA. Hi, Pierre. Here you are.
Hello, everybody.
So to start with you, Pierre, can you tell us a bit more about this very elegant project, please?
Yes, of course, Anne. Thanks a lot again for inviting us to this CATIA Talk. So, in few words, we really wanted to highlight our generative design solution in order to test it on a construction and especially on a bridge. So, to perform this study, we really wanted to follow our motto, which is a CATIA motto, shape the world we live in. And to do this motto, what we wanted to work on is a specific bridge inside Paris, which is our city. So we decided to work with Kilian on the Bir-Hakeim Bridge. And Kilian, I let you the floor to explain us why this bridge was so interesting to work on.
So thank you, Pierre. I will share my screen. So you have to know that this project was very interesting to do because there is a lot of different aspects by doing a bridge. And we decided to do this bridge in Paris because we are in France, and in Paris, Bir-Hakeim is one of the famous bridge we can have, and also because it's exposed at different loads as wind, water flow, subway, vehicles, and vibration. And it's very good to demonstrate and to leverage our generative design solution. And this is what we will see together in this talk. So here a little video about the project. So here we can see that we are in Paris, and this Bir-Hakeim Bridge is in Paris, and our objective is to maximize the stiffness of the bridge, minimize the weight, and minimize the cost of the bridge. So here we can see the reconstruction of the Bir-Hakeim Bridge in Paris, and in reverse engineering we recreate Paris. So here we can see the results. So the functional requirements was the wind, the vibration, the river flow, the subway, and the vehicles. And here we can see that we are on functional generative design. So here we can see it's the design space of 1/4 of the bridge. I will explain you later why. And here we put the objective of our topology optimization. Here we can see our result of the bridge. And here we can see the reconstruction of the bridge at the end of this optimization. And here we can see the final results with a little design we put on the bridge and a beam reconstruction that we can see here, some beams. We will see later how we did this. Okay. So here we can see the objective of the bridge. So our main problem is to show that with the functional generative design, we can maximize the stiffness of structure and minimize the weight, while we can also minimize the cost. So there is a lot of different scope in our project. And here we can see the end-to-end workflow. So this is why we saw on the video. The first, like here, the top one is about generative design, and the bottom one is about steel structure design. So in our talk, we will just talk about this part, the generative design part. And this part is in the project, but it's to cover a large part of what we can do with CATIA and similar application, but we will focus on the generative parts. So here we can see the first Paris reconstruction. So we use some tessellation file to extrude and to create the buildings. Like we can see here, there is different size. Here we can see some big buildings, and here some small buildings. And we put also some famous structure as the Tour Eiffel, Trocadero. Here we can see the Bir-Hakeim Bridge and some bridge and some details as water. So we put like 1 month to do the full Paris and to add some details, to work on some detail like that. And it was very long, but the result is very interesting. Here we can see another view of the results, and we start to do our project on just 1/4 of the bridge. Here we can see that there is a 4 pillar in our bridge, and for our simulation, it's better to just study 1/4, and we will have a better convergence for the topology optimization, and it will be much more easy for our computer to converge into a good result. So we just focus on this part. And here we can see the generative design part. So we start by doing the design space, as we can see here, to let the barge going through under the bridge, to let the metro going into the bridge, and to let the vehicle here going through the bridge. And here we can see some load like the metro, the wind, the vehicles, and we put some restraints, as we can see here, the symmetry, here a rotation in X, and here a pivot. And you have to know that's almost the same as we have in the Bir-Hakeim Bridge. There is this pivot, and here some constraints. And we launch our simulation with 27%. So here we can see it's 100% of the mass, and here is the result after 27% of the mass. And our optimization show this result, which is the best result we can have to have the better strengths and to minimize the mass. And here we can see the final reconstruction using Imagine and Shape. So here we can see the results. So here we can see the displacement and the mass, and we can see that there is 70% mass less for after the reconstruction, and the displacement is very low. That we can do some calculus that you can see on my PowerPoints in my post, and you will see that it's very good for a bridge. And here we can see we did some live rendering. So as I said before, we reconstruct our bridge with a design and using some beams. And here we can see the bridge inside the city of Paris. And here we can see the inside of the bridge. And here is the arch which already exists. And we take the choice to keep it because it's from history of the bridge. And here we can see some beams and some structure. So if you have any question, don't hesitate to ask. It will be a pleasure to answer.
Good, thank you, Kylian. And it's true that's very impressive as a mass reduction. Yes, I have a little question for you.
Yes.
What were the main challenges you faced during this study, please?
Okay, so I think the part which was the most difficult was about to put the real loads and to put the real restraints to have the better convergence we can have on the bridge. So here we can see that all the forces and restraints. I did some calculus to have the right one, and also we did a lot of simulation to have different results. And I think we can say that this one is the best one we found, and it was the most difficult part because we are not sure that everything we put on the bridge is real, and we have to do a lot of calcul, lot of research, because I was with Pierre, we were just two on the project, and I'm not expert in every domain we can have. For an architect, we will do that kind of structure. So it has been a very difficult part, but we did it, and I think the result is very interesting for the future and for what we can do with kind of generative application.
Yeah, and I would also add that one of the main challenge was usually we are working on kind of smaller part in which we want to do some lightweighting. And here this time it was a pretty big part. We saw that some bridges are now printed through additive manufacturing processes. And it was for us a challenge to anticipate how to manage the optimization, to set up the right thickness control, all this kind of information that can influence the optimization. So yes, it was pretty a big challenge for us to now go to this kind of construction element to try our solution and also to see the different reconstruction processes we could perform after that.
Yes.
Very interesting. Okay. Well, I guess that many engineers share these requirements of the reduction of weight and cost while supporting various loads and constraints. So is it difficult to use this approach if you are not an analyst and not familiar with simulation? Is it difficult to reproduce your approach, and how long does it take? Please.
Okay. So it's a bit difficult for some parts and easy for other parts. As I can say, there is this part, which is a generative design approach. It's very easy because we can see there is some assistance that show you how to do everything to improve your components. For us, it was a bridge. So like we have model configuration, region to preserve, connection, loads, restraint, and then we can do the whole setup and launch the topology optimization, and we obtain the computer is doing everything. So we just have to interpret the results. But the most difficult part is much more in putting the right loads, putting the right restraints, and doing the right optimization, because this part is not very hard to use. You just have to do a lot of research in this kind of bridge to be sure that it will match with our results. And yeah, so it's about 5 months to do this project, from the beginning to the communication and to do the videos. And yeah.
And also, in addition, all our roles are supposed to be really dedicated to designers. So we have a lot of tailored way to manage all this setup. And as Kilian said, with this assistant, it should be, from my point of view, easy to reproduce because it is really guiding you at each step, telling you some warnings, error messages. So really, it's the purpose of our roles are to really target from the designer to the mechanical engineer to be able to reproduce, to go to this topology optimization solution and what we call generative design solutions.
Okay, thank you very much. This is very interesting. Let me see if we have any questions from our audience? Well, I see that many of you are connected, but I don't think I see any questions. So maybe let me show you how you can still comment or ask questions to keep connected with Kilian and Pierre, if you don't mind. So let me share my screen. So for any of you, you can continue the conversation with Kilian and Pierre in the CATIA user community. For this, you just have to click on this link, go.freedes.com/CATIA. If you are not a member of the community yet, you will have to fill a DES passport. It's very easy and quick, and you can access the community. And this is where you can watch all replays of all CATIA talks, of course, and meet with experts. So if I show you now the community in itself, so sorry, I remove this and maybe I will start directly in the community. So this is how it looks like. You have several articles, as you can see. You can find the promotion of this talk, of course, and other article, especially if I search for this topic, generative. There are several other articles. You can also decide to look for other experts on this topic of generative design. And when you use this search, there is an easy way also to refine the results of your search so that you can select only the persons, yes, here, who could help you if you have a specific question. You can see their post and continue the conversation with them as well. Yes, maybe I could also show you for people who are not in the community yet. Well, it's a bit slow, but we will have the articles very soon. Yes, if you want to ask questions, so let me find again this post. You see that there is this comment section at the end where you can ask your question, and Kilian and Pierre will be able to answer. So let me check again. Yes, I have a comment from Nikolai saying that it will be useful for architects. So thank you very much for this nice comment. Well, unless you have anything to add, Kilian and Pierre, I think that's it for me.
Okay, maybe to answer to Nikolai, yes, for architect it can be very interesting because in your design space you can create some different shape, and you can force the optimization to do some interesting shape that you want. So yeah, it can be good, and you can have some good resistance, some good strength, and at all. So yes, it's a good point to show.
Perfect. So thank you very much, Kilian and Pierre, and thank you all, of course, for attending. Please don't forget that we would like to know more about your project and about maybe your expectation regarding generative design in the future. So don't hesitate to comment on the post, and talk to you next time. And bye for now.
Goodbye. Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot.